Hey everybody, welcome back to General Review Anything and Everything. And don't mind that this is a casual video. If this is not your thing, that's fine. Right now I am just modding, actually testing out modding this set, Lego set 60407, which I just reviewed on the channel. And I had an idea, and I was speaking in the video about how you can mod this and then possibly turn it into just a regular bus setup. Now, I didn't think to myself that I would do that, and I said you could buy another set to do that, but then I started looking at it, I'm like, it's not really that hard to do, so maybe I'm gonna play around with it, and being that it's not such a hard build, if I just need to convert it back, it shouldn't even take me that long. So what I ended up doing, I already started kind of playing around with it, but if you go back to my review video, you'll see how this was already set up and how there were stairs here. I essentially took these stairs out, and like I said, it really wasn't hard to do. And I'm just gonna play around with things, with a few things right now, just to see, you know, where I could take it as far as the whole thing. And I'm just going to kind of go from there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna also leave these stairs intact, just in case if I want to put them back, it will be very simple just to put them back. So that's the way it's looking right now. And I should, in theory, be able to let's see. See how much I'm going to be able to squeeze out. Of all this. Now, that's another thing that I don't really recall, is how much of this is built in right here, and then this is built like that. So what that means is the height on this is a bit high, but so I would want four in height. So what I could do, so we're looking at this right here. Essentially, I want to get rid of these. Let me see. This is going to have to get pushed back, that seat there. As I mentioned before, if I elevate this side up here to get extra seats. So, and I've got a grill piece there, which I don't even recall what that's from necessarily. Or was this like this? Was that on there like that? Yeah, so there's a grill piece behind it. Let's see what we're trying to do here right now. So I have to get rid of these here and make it a 2x4. These are a 3-piece. So what I could do is take this, and this might mess things up a little bit. Not really sure, because, okay, I can go like this, turn these side, I took both the facing forward, turn one, because this is a 3x2. Then I can take one of these, here, slide that there, and now I've got a 2x4. And then now, if I was to put this down, you get that there. But before I wanted to clear out this whole panel, but I don't know if I could do that because that's needed structurally. So that's something that won't be able to be done. That back piece here has to stay there. At first I said to myself, I could take that out, but I think you kind of can't because, let me see. No, you can't. But I don't need to. I thought that I did, but I actually don't need to. But what I do need to do now is figure out a way to, I'm gonna need a panel to come across here to close that off. So that's something where I'm not 100% sure what will be done to close that off, because I want to be able to put a seat there. So what I'm going to end up doing is taking this top piece. Well, there's a lot of extra pieces right here. So what I could do is, let's see, I'm going to need a lot of these pieces too. So I'm going to take them. I guess I'm going to just go all in right at this point now. You know, it gets a little crazy when you start taking things apart because then you're like, there's no going back. But it is what it is. Once you take that task on and you go in full circle or full, whatever you want to call it, full throttle or whatever. But that's what we're doing at this point. So take those two, oops, where was this at? I don't even know where this was now. I think I want to say this was here. Yeah, it was. Okay. So I'm the type who I try to leave everything in place so that way when it comes to putting certain things back together, that is not a problem. Okay, so, I may have to end up, like I said before, putting this whole thing back together at a later point in time if this doesn't end up working out, but I do hope that it does. So what we could do now is take these two pieces right here, and then now we can throw them here to level this out. Now, these bricks from these steps, which I really did like that step effect to go up to the top. It's really nice. But I did buy this because I wanted it to be a regular bus. And so it still could be used as a regular bus, but to be honest with you, it's not the same as just a regular bus looking look, which, if you're gonna have a double deck on a bus as a regular bus, well then one of the key main things that you need is a roof on top of it. And that's the main reason why that's not an option for us, as far as that being considered a regular bus, because we don't have a roof on top. And now I don't even know where this piece went. Let me see. Okay. Every now and then I may have to refer to the instructions to remember how everything goes. But for right now, we're doing okay. This is going to be the piece that comes back here afterwards. Just make sure everything lines up. So, so what we're going to do is, now we have this is flat. So now we've got room inside there. Now I have room. I could do it a couple of different ways, but what I'm going to do is, well, first off, we're going to take these seats. Let's get the lady out of there. Now, the easiest way to utilize these seats is to go like this. Now, the thing about it is when you do it this way, the problem, let's see. Oh, no, it doesn't work. I thought it would, but you can't because of when these things go back, there's a space. So you could do that like they did it before, the bench layout. The problem, which I don't like about that, is that that final back area will not be able to sit any, let me take this off because I need this piece for the stability right now because it won't let me. That keeps wobbling on the side, so that prevents that by putting that there. Now, this cannot go in the far back because these seats don't go perfectly straight. They stick out a little bit in the back, which makes you can't put them in a 2x2 space. That's got a little bit of a piece behind it. So if I put it side by side like that, it could form a bench seat. I'm just having trouble getting it in there because the wall is a little wobbly, that piece right there. But anyway, and that could form the back bench seat. But the problem with that is the look of it is nice, but you can't fit, you know, people there. That's the only problem with that. Now, this piece here has to get elevated as well. So I would have to then take this piece off, and we're gonna have to change that piece that's down there. I know that's for the wheelchair access, but what we're gonna have to do is get rid of that to some degree. That piece that's down there, we're gonna have to take that off. There's I'll show you. That down there in that center area it's a funny looking piece, and that has to be removed. So what I can do is take this off. So now I should be able to pull just this portion off. Let's see if it comes off smooth. It does. And then what we're gonna do is we gotta get to that piece right there. So, and what we're gonna essentially do is it's gonna kind of suck because what's gonna happen is it's gonna leave a hole in that space. And of course, I cannot even get to it because of this piece. Everything is so connected to each other, so it makes it where I can't even straight get to it, what I'm trying to get to, without then ripping everything else off around it, which is pretty annoying. Sorry, you guys, you weren't able to see all that, but I'm pretty much just taking all these panels off. And then now I should be able to get to this. Pull this up and then pull this piece out, which works. The problem now becomes I have to fill that space with a few things. So one thing I could do is I could do that just as a stop measure. And, you know, because I can't fill that with this piece because it messes things up. And I could just do that. And then that should be enough because this right here should equal the height of one full brick, which it does. And that's the height of one full brick. So that's fine. So now that I did that, I could take this piece here, we'll close it off. Now, even though I could have used one of these 2x whatever bricks, I didn't do that. And the reason why I didn't do that is because I'm gonna need those, and those are more valuable to me than the stepping piece, which suffices because I don't need it to be structural right there. So it's better to use the pieces that you don't need as much versus the ones that you know you really need. So I'll do that, and then this should be able to come back here if I'm not mistaken. I hope that I'm putting all the pieces correct because I don't I'm going off memory right now. This was here, and then I don't know where this piece went right here. And I believe that went there, and this went here. So I'm not really sure where this piece went. Did that come off from here? Let's see. I think maybe this was like that and this was like that. Let me follow up with the instructions. All right, so we got that back. I just had to read the instructions on putting that back. I didn't need to record that for you guys because all you gotta do is look at the instructions on how to replace all that back. Nothing's changed in terms of the way that it was built up, so that wasn't a big deal. Let me just put these panels back on now, the yellow ones. And that's not a problem as far as that goes. So what we're gonna do now is that inside there, what we're gonna do is, well, first I'm gonna open these up, the doors. It's gonna make it a little easier for me to reach in. First, I'm going to feel it out to see that I can make it the way I needed it to be. And if I can, then that's what we're gonna do. If I can't, then we are going to slightly modify things. So let's see. So that will go like that. And what I would need in that case is, so in that slot there, it's gonna look like that. So what I'm gonna need is a couple of things. I'm gonna need another grill piece. I'm gonna need actually 2 grill pieces because we're gonna continue that same layout that they've already been doing. And then we're gonna need 2 chairs. So first will come a grill and then a chair. Then so we got a slight problem, and I'm not sure if this is going to work out correctly because I thought that I would be able to, I had to move this other chair back that's here, and I didn't because I realized now there's no room to go back because that piece was just not supposed to be there. I didn't realize it's structural and I can't get rid of it. So for that reason, yeah, there's no way for me to get rid of that because it's structural unless you do some like really deep dive change. So for that reason, I need a different solution. So I'm gonna slot this right inside here. Sorry about that. That was a bottle in the garbage that popped from being a plastic bottle that was unraveling from being crunched. So there we go. I slid that in there. So now we got the extra row. That was that piece that you just saw here that I had just laid out in front of you as the gray panel. I pretty much just slid it right there, and that's fine. So now what I have to do is, I wish I can get another seat inside there, but unfortunately, I'm just shy on being able to do that. Let's see if there's something that I could do about that. And I actually think that there is. So here's what we're gonna do. No, that's not gonna work either. So what I was going to do was put a seat over here, but this may not work. Let me see if I can get this to work. So what we're gonna do is take the bus driver's seat, which is not even really a seat. Gonna lift it up and take it off. What we're gonna see is if, in theory, if I took this seat here and I slapped that there, and then removed, I can move that one up one. So the only problem with this that I could do, I could move every single seat forward, which in theory would work. The problem becomes simply that the passenger seat is going to be right up against the, where's my piece here? Here we go. The passenger seat is going to be right up against the bus driver's seat, and that's going to make it feel like, you know, the bus driver's got someone like right up against him, which is going to suck for him in terms of just the look of it. But at least it does solve that issue. In terms of giving me the space I need for an additional, I think it gives me an additional seat. But now I'm wondering, do I even have the additional seat? Well, I could take off that bench seat that I have in the back if I need to, and not use that as a bench seat. So what I did here is I stripped all the stuff out, including this was the front panel that had the steering wheel at the front here, the seat spot right here, and this was that back piece right here on the back of it. We're gonna take that out now so we can move everything up forward by one. So we're gonna put the steering wheel back in the same spot, but it's just now not over that greenish blue, bluish green, I'm sorry, little panel piece right there. So now we're gonna put that in like that. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop the seat in. Now, granted, this is gonna make it a little bit tight of a squeeze for, this will make it a tight squeeze for the bus driver a little bit to sit in there like that. But what we're gonna do is this. Before we even do that, we're gonna put all the little gratings or foot grating, is that how you say it? We're gonna put all of them in place first because it's easier for me to put that before we put the chairs in. So we're gonna do that. Matter of fact, what I'm gonna also do is, let me see, can I pull this out? I'm gonna take this yellow piece off again. Sorry about that, you guys. So I am trying to pull these pieces off again just to get this off. So that would be easier for me to slide these things in. Where are my gratings? I could have sworn I had more of them. Here we go, 1, 2. Is it just that? Okay, let's assume that it's just that. So I'll show you after I put them all back in. And we still have some from the top area over there. So I'm gonna grab one of those because I don't think I have any more here. I am going to grab the ones here off this because we got a few more of these. And then essentially what we're gonna do is this whole top piece here is gonna stay relatively the same and just essentially act as a roof. And when I said about this whole area here, what I realized also too is I have this panel here that could be taken off. Now it's not gonna make it look nice if I do that, but I might have a way that I could kind of finagle that and it still works. So we're gonna see. Worst case scenario, we'll have that opening, but I don't think that it's that big of a problem. So I'm gonna put this here. And now you see we got all the little foot areas that are going to be there. Now we can drop all the seats in that are going to go in, slot right in front of all of those. So we've got that one there. This one here. This one here. Like I said, the only real issue is that now there's very little differentiation from that front seat for the bus driver than the seats behind them. And that's the only thing that I could say is gonna feel a little, you know, strange and not look right. Other than that, I mean, you do still have the fact that it is the front seat, it's the steering wheel's there, so it does feel somewhat separated in that regard. I just realized something too that might be a flaw or a slight problem, but I hope not. That seat right there might not be able to fit somebody because of their arm. So their arm might have to sit as high as it can sit. Let's see if they can still fit in that seat. Yeah, I just realized that slight design flaw and might be a problem because a person can't really get, let's see if she didn't have her hair. Can she sit? Okay. If your person doesn't have a lot of hair, they actually have to have no hair, because the hand now is going straight all the way to her head. So for a person to sit there, unfortunately, they can't. They got to be able to put their hand up high. So that's a little bit of a flaw there in that regard, because of that pillar over there. So, and there's really not much I could do about that. Excuse me. So let's see. What we are going to do is drop the other last seat here. So other than that one seat, all the rest of the seats work. And you can see now we've got all these seats inside there, and they should all accommodate. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that seventh one really doesn't count because it's just a back bench seat. We can't really do anything with it. In terms of someone being able to sit there. It's just to give that look of the bench seat. So really we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seats that we can hold people, which is not too bad. Now what I'm gonna also do is I'm gonna take this piece, and we've got another one of them, the little step pieces, and we're just gonna put them right here where that little, the kind of stepping part is here. So that way it gives that little illusion of a step, a little step up. Once I plug it in, I will face it to the camera so you can see it better. But it definitely gives that sense of where it's not so much of just a gap where it falls. And I think I could do that for the front entrance as well, if I have the extra part, which I think I do have a couple more of them, so why not? So you can see here, they act as like little steps, one going that way, one going this way, which is not bad. And like I said, I could do the same here if I wanted to, even though I may not, because sometimes you want to have the area as just a place that they could come walk into and stand there. You know, when someone comes and they're standing like they're about to go in, but otherwise I would be able to throw that here, and then it creates it like a step. But I think that makes it a little too cluttered, maybe. I don't know, what do you guys think? It seems reasonable to a degree. Someone walks in there, because you're not gonna have someone just stand there the whole time. So to a degree, it could be like they could step up. Or is it better with that just being open? I'm not sure, but we'll leave that there for now. No, we'll take it out. We'll take it out. And of course, it's gonna be hard to get out. It does make it look a little cluttered to me, in my opinion. So we could leave it just as that. we don't have any more chairs anyway, but I do feel like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 chairs in the entire set. I do feel like though that I want to, I wish I could utilize that seat better, even though visually it looks nice because it does look like the bench seat that, you know, would exist there. But the problem is, let me see if this guy holds his hand up high and she holds her hand up low, holds her hand down low. Can they sit side by side? And if they can, then at least we know that that's an option. And I think that might be possible. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. And everybody is flinging things all over the place. I don't blame myself. I blame the minifigures. Okay, so that arm's gotta, on her, has to come up a little bit. I'll try to get this guy in there. It's not great, but there is some tension. He's not gonna fall out. So see, it's not great, but then again, I don't have a wall on this side right now. But when we put this wall here, because of that's a low level and it should tuck right underneath his arm, just like that, it shouldn't be a problem. Now, getting him to sit in there is not easy, right? I just did that now without having a wall there. It may not be as easy, but at least it's something that's possible, okay? We're just gonna at least go with the idea that's possible, and it's looking good so far. Let's see if there's any additional changes that we could do, being that we've got extra pieces now. Let's try to make the most of our pieces if we can. So let's see what we could do. One issue is this whole big gap right here. Now, the thing about it is this piece right here, which is on the back end here, could literally cover right there if I didn't have these pieces here. But let me see if there's a way I could do this where it makes more sense. Because right now, it really doesn't make a lot of sense. Which is very unfortunate because most of the structure here looks great. But there's just a couple aspects about it that doesn't match up. And, you know, you don't really want to take the entire thing apart. But unfortunately, so this is where we're at right now. Sorry, because of spacing, I'm trying to make sure I can have everything where it needs to be. Let me put this back on now that we know that we have that set up. We don't have to have that. And then let's put this back. Let's start putting back all the things that we can. So that way, 2 things. 1, it affects my memory, so I don't have to remember where these things go later. And 3, if we don't need to do any adjustments anymore to those panels, we can just get on with that next part of the build, which is the roof. So let's see if we can do that. I'm a little bit skeptical on, because if this goes like that, what we have to do is, so maybe I can bring this into frame now. We're gonna take this off here. Okay, these black pieces here, they're important. This is here. Why is this one doesn't have that same piece? What's missing here? This was just here, and then that's here. Okay. This goes here on that side. I just like to try to keep all these pieces the same way just in case. And then later on I can do something with them. But in the meantime, I don't like to mess with them until I know that, you know, I'm not going to use them the exact same way. I'm going to take these off and put them back right here. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to pull this off here from the top because we want to keep this. The only issue is we want that to connect as one piece. So that's what this is for. But it's gotta work. So let's see if we can make that work, because I don't know if we can. Part of the reason why is because this right here could go exactly across here. But then the problem is these are no longer attached to anything. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna slide this back on top and start working it from this angle, so that way it makes a little bit easier for us to see what's going on. Remember, we still need the ability to pull this whole thing off, and that is where part of the problem lies, because we need this to be this to be covered. Now you could do something just like that, but it doesn't really look that good. Now I'm gonna leave the top area like this because it will just show, like, you know, what's the next stop. I'm just gonna do that. But as far as the back area here is the only issue. And as far as closing it off, the issue at hand becomes making all this stuff connect. Okay, so what I did is I put these back, covering over the black area. Obviously, I put this wall back up here again. These side panels, like I said, were off it. I'm gonna take these pieces here, and I'm gonna take this, and this piece came from, this was the original front seat area for the bus driver. I'm gonna put these pieces here, the little black pieces that I'm taking off of, those are the top of this edge here for both of those. And then what I'm gonna do is just use that as a cover piece. So now it's covered. It doesn't look great, but it works. Now, what I can also do is I'm gonna take this piece off here. Let's see how that looks. That doesn't need to be as high. So what I could do with that is take these same black panel pieces here and do that with them. It's not great, but it's something for now. I don't like this piece being on the back. Let me see what I could do with that and make it make some sense. If I can make it make sense. Let's try to see. So this guy's a piece there that, you know, it would be like, why would we even have that there? But I could take this extra black piece that I have here sitting here doing nothing. How does that look? Not really, no. I just don't want to have just a aimless blue piece there, which doesn't make a lot of sense right now. Okay, I could do this. I could put them on this angle here. And maybe that's a little bit better. Not really too sure. It's very odd looking. I don't disagree that it's a little odd looking, but it might be what we can get away with for now. Will this whole thing lift up still? Yes, it does. I'm trying to work what we have. So another thing too is making these things sealed so that way it gives it a little bit more structural rigidity. But unfortunately, let's see, if I do this here, we could still put these there, but they're just not, I don't think they're the length they're supposed to be, are they? Yeah, it falls in place exactly where it should still, for the most part. It's not, no, I'll have to turn them around to face this way so they fit a little better. Okay, so that's not too bad, because otherwise it's pushing too forward that way. So we've got that there, those. And that's our basic roof on that so far. What I will do is, we still got some of these vent or graded pieces here. I could put them on top here to make it look like this is the exhaust of the bus. So you know how normally the bus will have that exhaust piece at the top? This could be that to a degree. That's why it looks all funny and whatever, but it's the big exhaust that comes out the top. Matter of fact, even better, now that I know that, I could do this. I didn't even realize this because I had those pieces sitting there. I could now take this like that. I could have sworn I just had a second one, I don't. So I'll take this one off here. Even better, look at that. Now we've got the vent that comes out the back of the bus, blows all that smoke in your face when you're walking by. If anyone who's ever been, you know, around the buses in the city, in any kind of major city, they know what I'm talking about. The buses are throwing that vent right in your face and it's disgusting. We're gonna put these on top here just to kind of smooth that out like we said before. I don't think that's that bad, right? The vent comes out, you got the red light area, there's the vent, blows all that inside your face, which nobody likes, but it is what it is. Let me just see, would this look better if it was facing this way or not? Let's just play around with it a little bit. If not, it's fine. It's essentially the same thing, but just twisted around. I don't know if that looks better, or does it look better facing forward? You could do it either way. I'll do it the other way around again. I guess it looks a little better like this. And that really could be the front of your bus too, because in the older sets, they made that the front panel on some older ones. But the problem to me is there's nothing else for me to do with this if I did that. So it's easier for me to keep this in the front as just the rotating of like, hey, where we're going, as opposed. And this is just, like I said, just top area now. It's just a roof area, that's it. Nothing about it particularly special. Let me see if there's anything I could do with these pieces here. I don't think that there is. I would like to be able to do something with them, but I don't think it really works out very well. So if I have anything else that I could think of to do with it, then I will. But right now, this is kind of really what we came up with as far as turning our city bus now into a just regular bus. It doesn't look as regular bus-like because I have this on top, and you could easily remove that. You could remove that and that wouldn't be a problem. And you could actually, if you rearrange this whole top area, because there's enough surface area, you could make this the front of your bus, and the black top here, the black panels would just be here, but instead of this area where this covering that for the whole, that would be on the front there. You could just reverse that. There's nothing, you could do that and that wouldn't be a problem, and just have this all be just a black top. I don't think that's a problem at all to do, and I don't actually think it's hard to do either. I think the only issue is, and I honestly, I could just do that right now. I think I'd be able to do that, but I think there'd be still one small gap, a small hole area on one of the rooftop areas, but I still don't think it'd be that big of a deal. Let me see if I could do this without messing this whole thing up. Can I pull off this black top without tearing everything apart? Let's see if I could do that. Now the pipes at the top hold it. I think they're kind of holding it together. So I could take the black top off. Yeah, they're being held by the pipes. I'm gonna just leave that on there just for the sake of making it easy if, you know, and then this, I'd have to take these two pieces off. Now we're losing our little engine thing in the back, which you could still add if you wanted to. If I go like this, for example, use that to attach just like that. Will that work? Does that work? No, it doesn't. This piece doesn't sit as low, so you would need to, I'll turn this around just so it could work easier. If you did like that, and then you would just need to connect this piece with that. So like say you threw this down hypothetically and wanted to do, I'm just throwing this together real quick, but obviously this is not a great look, but you get the point for the stability of it. And then you've got something like that. You could do that. I'm not gonna stick with that at the moment, but like, I mean, you get the idea that that's something that you would be able to do. I'm gonna convert it back to the way I had it because I think that's a little better. And what I will do is put this right back on the way that I had it. So I'm gonna stick with that design that I had like this. It's the one that I like so far. Let me just make sure that everything pulls off pretty easy. Yeah, it does. And that's my bus setup. And that's gonna be my bus for driving around town. Like I said, it's not perfect, but we eliminated all the top aspect, gave it a roof. The panels just for decoration. It still says city tour on it, but it's gonna be a regular kind of bus. And then it opens up and it can hold up to a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 passengers with the possibility of 7 if you're able to squeeze 2 in the back like I did before. That may not be easy, but nonetheless, it's something that can be done, possibly. You know, so yes, the only thing is we are missing that kind of wheelchair access, or like even the baby stroller. It still fits. People aren't going to be able to walk out, but it still fits. You know, but that's how it's like in real life. Everything gets crowded and everyone gets pissed at each other and they push and shove, and it is what it is. So that's what this is. But it works. We got a bunch of extra pieces. Now we can give this lady the better lens that she always wanted on her camera. There you go. And that's that. So tell me what your thoughts are. You know, if you like it as an alternative build. I haven't seen an alternative build on this thing, so this is the first alternative build on this that I've seen. So, you know, hopefully this is something that, like I said, interests you. Let me just pop this off one more time so you guys could just take a look at the interior again from this angle. And there you go. And I hope you guys are able to utilize this and that you guys like it. Because like I said, there currently is no, there's currently no modern bus. So after you see this video, if you haven't bought this set yet, you could buy this set. Don't put the stickers on it if you don't want to. Come up with this framing, come up with most of this base top, and maybe use a few extra pieces to make it look a little more like, you know, maybe you have two of these pieces here. You can make like one end piece there, one end piece there to smooth it out, or however you want to do it. But at least, you know, this gives you a good basis, just this alone, which is the same setup that it already was, but minus the whole steps coming upwards. So, you know, this does give you a lot of seats. That part's great about it. So it gives you enough seats that you'd want on a bus. The unfortunate is most of the seating is at the top if you're trying to use it as a regular bus. So that's my alternate build that I came up with on the fly just now as you saw me do it. I didn't plan this in advance. And, you know, let me know down in the comments. Did this help you guys? Is this something you're going to use or whatever the case is? As always, you guys like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.